So we'll be installing a dark tint rear window on this Canon MX3. We have our main piece here for our window. We've got our lower piece that is also dark tint. We've got our weather stripping here, our 5 straps. These are our strap mounts. This is a 5/32 Allen. This is a 7/16 wrench, and this is a soft mallet. We're going to be using this to tap the weather stripping along the top here. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure to remove anything that is going to get in the way of installing this. So this person did have a rear speaker back here, took the rear speaker off because it will not fit with that. He does have a spare tire carrier back here, and this will interfere a little bit with the fitment. With these shock mounts, I did take away a little bit off the bottom of the window. That will fit right here, just because these mounts here do interfere with it. So if you do have this mount, just be aware that it is going to affect the fitment a little bit. And same thing with these mounts up top here. This is just going to affect how it seals along the top. So we're going to get this to fit as tight as possible. So first thing we're going to start with is fitting this window up here. So you're going to want to wait to put these on. Reason being is you're not going to be able to flex it enough to fit these over top of these bars here. So we're going to put these on after the window is fit. Just want to show you guys that there. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get the weather stripping and put it along the top here. So I'm just going to peel away just a little bit of the window. I'm going to avoid as much fingerprints as possible and scratches. So I'm not going to try to touch the material. Really stuck on there. Just gonna peel away just a little bit here. Okay, so like I said, I did take away a little bit off the bottom here. Basically what I did is I took off some right here in this section to make up for these mounts, shock mounts. I'm going to get my strap here. So the way you're going to want this sitting on the window is because the window's going to sit like this in the machine. We're going to want this bubble seal to be facing upwards. So what I like to do is I will just set this right here. Press this end over. We'll start lining up the whole strap, weather strip I should say, across. And we'll get our mallet here. Start tapping it on there. Make sure we're not. Make sure your plastic material isn't folding back in there, so you'll get stuck and you'll have a problem. sure that's all in there good. And get your scissors. You're gonna cut this material excess off. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fit it in the slot. Do that. And peel away the bottom on the inside. You might have to pull this in and out a few times while you do that. Let's see here. Trying to avoid as many fingerprints as possible by just keeping the material on as long as possible. Especially the places where you'll be handling. Try to keep that plastic. So you might have to try to pull this in and out a few times to get it to fit right. But we want these to fit over top of the bars here. So, like I said, this might pop out a few times. Unless you have somebody with you to help you out, you can get this to fit on your own, so no worries if you're by yourself. These two slots here, I need to fit over the air box. So let's get this over the shock mount. So you can see these mounts here for the spare tire carrier are going to interfere a little bit with this seal here. So like I said, we are going to try to just get it as fit as possible. This material over. This is going to be a lot easier to install too, these mounts here. But because we have a spare tire carrier, it is going to make it a little more difficult to fit, but it still fits. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to put those strap mounts in. So I'm going to be using a wrench instead of this Allen just for fitment. It's just going to be easier. Like I said, there's a 5/32. So tool here, should have one already on the cart. Yep. This washer is going to go on the underside against the polycarbonate, not on this. Pull this off. I'm just going to take them off. Stuff all on here. There were two washers. Don't go crazy tight when you're tightening these, because you can crack bicarbonate over time if you over tighten it. Just with heat and temperature changes, stuff does expand. So if you over tighten stuff, over time it will lead to cracking. So it's the same thing with our windows here. When we do our installs, we try not to tighten things crazy tight, because it can lead to cracking over time. Oop. Next thing we're going to do is install our upper strap, and then also what you're going to be getting is 2 zip ties. Because you're going to go over, that's what these 2 holes are in the cages, is it's going to go on this side and pull these upper corners up tight. Just to help with the seal along the top. If you need it, you don't always need it, but we normally install them because it's just supposed to help with getting a tight seal. Pull your material away. Do the other side, pull the material away. Pull it tight. So you can see it's already pulled pretty tight up against there, and these are affecting the way it's sealing, so that's what's nice about having these to zip tie on there. Normally the customers don't pull these windows off, so it's not really a big concern with having zip ties on it. So I'm just going to feed this through here. See if that helps you fit it. Then you just get some snips and you can just cut that off there. So now you can see we have a much better seal going along the top. Grab my snips. Right. Now this one we just peel it off. Not gonna really be touching the window or having anything get touched by it. So at this point we can peel this whole thing away. Mm-hmm. Get our side straps done. So I'd recommend not having the buckle sitting on the outside here alongside the cage if you're going to be getting windows. So make sure you either have it facing on this side or on the inside, just out with tighter fitment. And the last thing we gotta do is just fit straps along the bottom.
You know what I'm saying? Just throw a high point. Yeah, it's not even a rotor, just arc it. Just start up, go as high as you need to, and kind of eyeball it out.
And like that. So at this point, what I recommend doing is feeding these straps in through the outside, and then going underneath, through and underneath. So this is a little more difficult with a spare tire carrier on there. But I'll feed this through the top. We're gonna go over the top side of it. Feed it through. And just gotta flip it over. Well, there you go. That's our rear window installed.